Hi, same story, different location. Um, so what really got me through middle school was my focus in music. Playing instruments and being part of an ensemble was just something that was mine and nobody could take away from me. I was still getting severely bullied, taunted, and tormented, but I had an anchor. Music, band class was my anchor. It was my escape from everything. And I jumped in head first. I saw a positive, I saw a light in my life, and I did anything, even against my own mother's wishes. I did everything I could to be a part of that because it was something I needed. I needed positivity in my life. And it honestly even until probably my senior year of high school when I finally started to embrace who I was, or began to at least. I started showing more interest in queer culture and gay culture. I started yearning to have that release, to just be openly myself and just be the person that I've always been, but was just bashed into the shadows for being. And if not, and I'm Stephanie, if you're watching this, you're the reason why I feel so comfortable being myself today. The love and support that you showed me at that time. I have no words for it. I have absolutely no words for it. You saved me. You saved me, Stephanie, and I love you so much. You really did. You were the first person I felt comfortable openly talking to it about. And I love you so much for that. I will always love you so much for that. For giving me that, for just giving me, not even giving me permission, but allowing me to feel like I had permission to just be myself unabashedly, you know? And I love you. I love you so much for everything you gave to me at that moment in my life. Then, college came. College was a whole fucking mess. I didn't really have the emotional capacity to worry about, queer shit at that time because I was in a whole brand new world. And yeah, I think it was when I first went to college is when I was comfortable just not even prompted, just being like, "Hey, this is me." And that's okay. I think in my entire time in college, I was called a faggot once. And it was while I was getting on an elevator and the doors were closing. And, since then, no one has messed with me. I mean, I don't know why people would mess with me in the first place. I'm big as fuck, and I could probably put you down. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. But no, yeah, I'd say those early years in college, I didn't have worry about that. I didn't have to focus on that so much. Instead, I focused more on how fucking shitty I was as a young adult. Because I did not adult well. I did not adult well. But I continued, just living as myself. And as a lot of queer people can relate, like, RuPaul's Drag Race came into my life right there at the tag end of high school, and I fell in love. Whenever I was little, I would basically steal my mom's makeup and put it on my face at home, and just was constantly just trying to America's Next Top Model, the makeup that was done in that show. I don't really like the format of that show just because of how fucked up they treated the girls, but we're not going off on a tangent. But like just shows like America's Next Top Model and RuPaul's Drag Race, Sheer Genius on Bravo, like shows like that, just it threw my mind into a whirlwind, and I fell in love with it. And for many years after I had left home and I had left West Virginia, I wanted that so bad. I wanted to dress up, and I wanted to look pretty, and I wanted to just feel every single feminine ounce of my body. Just, I wanted that so much. But for the longest time, because West Virginia society had basically ingrained it into my mind that I was a fucking freak of nature, I was afraid to even do that. Even after I left West Virginia and I moved up here to Pittsburgh, I was afraid to do it because I was afraid to show that side of my femininity to people. Because I was afraid of what the people from West Virginia would think of me doing this. Because for some reason I am so fucking worried all the time about what people think about me. Because I just wanted acceptance. I didn't want to be treated differently anymore. And for the longest time, I put it off. I would watch from afar. I would watch RuPaul's Drag Race. And I would watch different shows. And really, it was the support of my girls, Lauren and Laura, when I told them, I was like, hey, I want to go to Sephora and I want to get some makeup. Because I want to start, I want to start exploring that and practicing. And at that time, like Patrick Starr with 3 R's or 3, had just came out on YouTube, and I saw this beautiful, beautiful feminine person that I immediately just latched onto. And just them dressing the way that they wanted to, wearing makeup whenever they wanted to, not just as a performance in drag, but in their everyday life, Now, mind you, I'm not really big on wearing makeup outside of doing drag. My skin can't take it. But I just saw this person just living so authentically. And I wanted that so bad. I wanted that so bad for myself. So I did. I told my girls, I was like, hey, I want to go to Sephora. I want to get some makeup and I want to start practicing drag makeup because I think I would be, I had done some performances here and there. And, I had gotten pretty good reviews and I saw, people lip syncing on TV and I thought to myself, well, how hard could that be? I could do that. So I did. I went and got makeup. And just the more and more I saw my face in that feminine light. Now, mind you, like most people, when they first start putting makeup on their face, it looks pretty rough. But I think from being able to watch tutorials online and stuff, I was picking up on it pretty quick. Now, it's really hard for me to do makeup because you have to do it without glasses on, and I can't see anything without my glasses. But, that's besides the point. But the more and more I was putting my face, into drag, and then I actually started going out and performing. The first dress I bought, I just remember being like, oh, and this is crazy. I finally have one of these. I have one, and it's so special. And it's a black dress with a bunch of candy skull cats on it. It's adorable. Some of you have seen it. But I just remember when it came in the mail and I had it, I just remember putting it on. I just remember putting it on and looking in the mirror and thinking to myself, whew. It was just something that I had always wanted to see my entire life. And it felt so good. It felt so good. That summer, the summer before I started doing drag, I had just graduated from college, and my friend Kate Walker and I were going to go see my friend Joanna. And that summer, I had a play production, and it was the first time I was playing a female role in a play production. And I was very adamant. When I saw the script, it was with Stage and Steel. I saw the script and they were like, what? And I love the director, Sam and Ruth. They basically gave me the pick of the mill on that production. And I looked at the witch role and I said, that's me. That character is me. I could be that. And while we were out in State College visiting my friend Joanna, we went to a thrift store, just on a whim, went to a thrift store. And I found this beautiful, beautiful blue velvet. I can't think of the material, but then it had like almost like an iridescent, like purpley sheen going down the rest of the bodice. But it was a dress that was my size, mind you. My size, height, torso, and everything. Not just weight-wise, but like torso and everything. That dress, people talk about like weird signs from the universe, and that was one. That was one of them. And I played that role. And to this day, I loved it. I loved getting to play that witch. And I think the best part for me was that to some of the audience members, they thought I was an actual woman playing the role. Because I was asked because we did dinner theater with that, and we would do like walk-arounds and stuff, and people would ask, they're like, so, just so I know, because the brochure says Jacob Mullins, did your mother name you Jacob and you're a woman? Or what's going on? People would ask, like, are you actually you're not actually a woman? And I remember those comments not stinging. It was more of a confusion for me. And at the time I didn't know why in my head I was feeling so confused. And so, not even offended, but just like, I just felt unfortunate that I was, like the fantasy had been ruined, And because, and that another thing, I have been mistaken for a girl my entire life by strangers. Every time I answer the phone, all of my mom's friends used to think that I was my mom on my phone, so much so, and it became so old to me that I would simply just be like, they would say, Ginger, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. What's up? And they would just start having full-blown conversations with me. And there was this one time I was talking to my mom's friend, Kim, probably for like 5 minutes, and I come walking by on the phone. My mom's like, who called? Who's on the phone? I said, it's Kim. And Kim was like, is that one of the kids talking to you? And I was like, no, it's my mother talking to me. Here she is, Kim. And gave my mom the phone, and my mom cracked up so much over that. But yeah, people used to mistake me as a girl all the time because of my voice and because of my hair. And whenever they would do that, and this is from childhood all the way up until, I want to say like 2016 even, whenever people would mistake me as a woman, I would get so angry at the time because I was taught that is an awful thing. That is an awful thing. You, born biologically a male, to be mistaken as a woman. And it was just another tier on the fucking cake of self-hatred that I had for myself. And I would just say it to myself all the time. I'm like, I was told that I'm supposed to be this thing, but even like random acts of society or just random people in society would mistake me for this thing that internally I longed for so much. But because I fucking hated myself for that part of myself, I would get so angry or confused. I don't understand. Even with like, to this day, I call it my depression beard. But even when I wouldn't like shave my face and my shitty hybrid calico Irish beard would, my neck beard would be on my face, I would sit there and be like, they see a woman and I have facial hair. What is going on? I was so confused. Because I was told I'm not supposed to be like this. I wasn't supposed to be like this. Is what I was told over and over. And so finally in 2017, I had my first drag performance at one of the universities, and this is post college graduation and dealing with all that stress. And it was finally like the time where I was like, I want to experiment with gender. I want to perform gender. I finally want to do drag. And this is after the witch role and after I had bought my first dress and everything like that. But I was finally like comfortable being like, I want to do this. And my friend, I had met a friend named Nikki. Nikki, I love you. I know we haven't talked in a while, but I still love you too very much. But, my friend Nikki was all like gung-ho about it. They were like, hell yeah, I will help you get in drag. I will help you make your hip pads. I will help you, I'll help you learn your makeup. They used to do my eyeliner for me and help me glue on my lashes. Nikki, I love you so much for that. Just, yeah. They helped me out so much. And I went there that night. And I didn't have good drag. I didn't. In fact, the funny part is, I had borrowed an outfit. I had borrowed 2 outfits from a coworker and friend. Her name is Lulu, all the way from Australia. How you doing, babes? I miss you, Lulu. But this beautiful woman, Lulu, she and I went to her house one weekend after work, and we hung out. She took me to a little spa treatment, and I got my nails done. Nothing too fancy at the time, nothing too, just, a cleaning. And I got a pedicure done. And, even at the time, the lady who was doing it asked if I wanted to get any nail polish on my toes. And I was like, no, that's okay. Just, a pedicure is nice. Thank you so much. And just stuff like that. Internally, yes, I wanted it more than anything. But, Lulu let me borrow some clothes, and I did this first show at a university, and I did really, really well, and I ended up becoming the crowd favorite. And that was crazy. That was the night I met Stacy's mom. I don't know if she still goes by that or not. But Stacy's mom and Alexis Killer, the death dropping diva of Pittsburgh. I had finally started seeing, like, and meeting other queer people in the drag scene, and just getting to know them and talk to them, and just seeing, they're still, the difference, our differences, we're different people, but just seeing so many similarities, and just being so comfortable in that little room, that conference room we were using as a dressing room. And it was wonderful. And performing in front of people again was just such, uh, and just everyone shouting and screaming. It just brought life to me. And then I started doing drag more and more and more. I did the open stages at Cruise and Blade Matthews. Um, I got introduced to Blade Matthews, who used to host those. And oh, I couldn't have had a better introduction into my Pittsburgh gay community, because, I had been living in Pittsburgh since July 29th, 2013. It took until like April of 2017, almost 4 years, for me to feel comfortable enough to go into queer spaces and meet other queer people that I just didn't so happen to meet in school or in passing or worked with at Sheets or something like that. Um, but I got introduced to the drag scene of Pittsburgh, and I know y'all, I know I know we have some problems. We're like a very dysfunctional family, but I love you guys so much. If it wasn't for the Pittsburgh drag scene and just the queer community in general in Pittsburgh, y'all have done so much for me and you don't even know. And I love y'all so much. That's why I always... That's just why I always am trying to be as kind as I can to all of the new people that I meet. Because y'all have done so much for me in helping me discover who I am. But yeah, Plumm was born. Plumm was born and I loved her so much. I loved being Plumm so much. Being Plumm was the highlight of my week. I would go to the Blue Moon open stage almost every single Wednesday for like 2 or 3 months straight, because I was addicted. I was addicted to being dressed up. And, even funny enough, when I first started going to Blue Moon, everyone thought that I was a cis woman doing drag. They did at first. Everyone thought that I was a cis woman doing drag. And, even at that time, it was confusing. But, like, it felt good. Secretly, it felt so good. Because I was like, it just felt right. It felt right. But, doing drag kind of more or less on and off for the past 5 years has just been such a highlight in my life. And for a while, I thought I had myself figured out. I was finally feeling close to 100% comfortable with who I was. Except I wasn't. Because the one thing that was still lingering, that I had not personally addressed. I had outwardly said, no, I am not this. There's just too many differences. There are certain things that I'm not feeling that the others felt. And sad enough, it took until the pandemic happened and I was forced to be in a room by myself for months at a time. Really, it started when I broke my foot in 2008, in March of 2018. And I had that time by myself while I was recovering because I could not walk. It was way too painful, and I just had so much time to sit there and think to myself all the time. And then it wasn't really until the pandemic happened that the gender dysphoria that has always been there, but I guess I really just had never taken the time to like really sit there and talk about it. That gender dysphoria really, really started to kick in. And I would see like videos online of people just being so happy with themselves after they transitioned and just being so unabashedly themselves. And I didn't understand it. I didn't understand like why I was feeling this way because I thought I had myself figured out at that point. But I hadn't. And it took me talking to my friend Anthony. At the time was, a former lover, but we're still friends to this day. Love you, Anthony. But it was really like, I think Anthony was like the first person I really started having these conversations with, where I was just like, something's not right. Something's eating me up inside, and I can't put my finger on it because I was so confused. And the reasons why I'm confused. Now, I feel comfortable talking about this. Not every single trans person is comfortable talking about this. But I came here to make this very long, dragged out documentary about myself. So I'm gonna get into it. The reason why I questioned myself and why I couldn't say the word, why I couldn't call myself this, a trans woman, is because I had different forms of gender and body dysmorphia. I don't, for instance, hate my genitalia. I don't hate my face. I've always had a big chest, so I've always had that to attribute to, I don't know, kind of passively keep myself comfortable. But it was certain things like having the vagina envy that some trans women go through, or having like the pregnancy envy that some trans women go through. I didn't have all that, so I thought to myself, I couldn't possibly be me. I had had so many conversations talking about it so confidently, just being like, yeah. Because I had been asked, like, even by, like my older brother, like, do you want to be a woman? And just out of the curiosity of his heart, he asked me this. And at the time, I was like, no, I'm comfortable being myself. If anything, I am more on the plane of gender neutral just because I love expressing my femininity, but I still have masculine traits about myself, very far and few in between. But they're still there. And it was because I didn't have these certain dysphorias about myself that I thought, I don't belong. I don't deserve to get to call myself a trans woman. And ultimately, it was just that it was those old societal pressures of just constantly being told, you are not this. You are not this. You can't be this. It was my own internalized hatred for myself, my own internalized transphobia of myself. But the pandemic and all that time just thinking to myself, I was like, there is something wrong. There is something wrong. There's something wrong. And honestly, it wasn't until I started seeing that, like, I wasn't the only one in the drag scene here in Pittsburgh that was struggling with this. A lot of my sisters, and I'm so proud of us girls. A lot of my trans sisters in this city have been coming out this past year. And I can only think that it can be for similar, reasons. All that time just to ourselves, thinking to ourselves. But it was just a bunch of just seeing such positive affirmation and just feeling so jealous. I was feeling, I'm not a very jealous person. But I was just like, isn't that so nice that they're just getting to be themselves? But I wasn't giving that to myself. And eventually, it took some of, even my coworkers at work. My coworkers at work coming out as trans. And just seeing the positive reception that my beautiful, beautiful coworkers were having for her. And then recently we got a good handful of months ago, I think back in January, this new trans girl started working with us at my job. And just it was brief conversations that I was having with them that I started to realize, like, oh my God, this is what's up. And then just hearing from them that they also didn't have a hatred for their genitalia and just stuff. It was just all of those pinpoints that I was using against myself to convince myself that I wasn't this person. I finally had found someone who was like me, who thought like me in that aspect, and it just, I swear to you, it's like being in a dark room and just ripping the curtains open and just being blinded by a light. It just clicked. And it was just seeing my coworkers and all of my beautiful, beautiful trans drag sisters in Pittsburgh. All of you helped me so much in finally coming out and being myself. All of you. I couldn't have done it without your leads and without your example. Maybe I could have done it someday, but you guys helped me so much. So, as of March, just this recent past March, I made the decision. I had talked about it with a couple of people, and I addressed my work and I said, hey guys. And it was a really big, long, drawn out email like this fucking video. Holy shit, 40 minutes at this point. I'm so sorry I talk so much, but it's just something that I just needed to talk about. And I'm alone. I'm alone in my house this weekend, so I'm in my thoughts again. But I finally told my work, this is me, this is who I am. And they were so good to me. Immediately. It's not even like no one. And I'm talking, and we have people on both spectrums of the sides of life. Even the ones that lean more towards the right, they embraced me so much. And whether they're just doing it to be cordial or not, I don't give a fuck. Y'all treating me like that. I don't have words. I don't have words. My coworkers are the best fucking people on the planet, and I love all of you guys so much. And then slowly but surely I was including close friends, obviously my close friends. And then I told my sister, and she loves me so much. She does. She loves me so much. And she really helped me get the courage to talk to my brother about it, who at first, he had some of his own reservations internally because he and I had previous conversations. And, it's hard, and this is just everyone in my family. Change is really hard for us because we are, growing up extremely poor as we did. Like, whenever change happened, it was usually for the negative. And change is scary. But even my brother, like, he's slowly but surely getting there. He really is. And I think eventually, he'll finally be able to look at me as the way I look at me. I hope. I hope my bubby sees me that way. And even my mom. Mom, I love you so much. Even my mom, she has her thoughts. And I respect my mom enough as a person to give her time to process this herself, because it's not just new. And that's the big thing. That's a big thing, is that I can't just expect everyone to change overnight, it takes a village. I keep that's like been a mantra of mine as of late. It takes a village. And I think, as she sees me grow, and as my brother sees me grow and blossom into this person that I'm now fully becoming, it's just, I have high hopes for myself. Now, one thing that has been keeping me back from doing this by talking openly to the general public has been the remainder of my family. And I just want to say this to all of you who have known me ever since I was a little child, up until this very moment that you're watching this video. I have always been and am still the same person. I am still the same person you knew when I was a little kid. Growing up into middle school, to high school, into adulthood, to now. I'm the exact same person on the inside. I just look differently on the outside. I dress differently on the outside. I am still the same person that I have always been. The person that I was always meant to be. And I know a lot of my family are going to have reservations about this, but I can't hide myself anymore. I'm so tired of hiding myself. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to hide myself anymore. And I know that this may cause some of you to not love me anymore. Or to not want to talk to me anymore. Or speak to me anymore. And I know that a lot of you are going to talk about this with one another. And even if you don't speak to me again, I just want you all to know, every single one of my family members, that I love you all still. And although it's not okay, it's okay. It just means that this is where life has to go. If it does go that way. And I think the one person, the one grandparent that I've had in my life that was there for me in my childhood, and who I know still loves me so much to this day, and whom I have neglected because of the fear that I've had to be my true self around them. And I'm so sorry, Mama. I'm so sorry I don't call. I'm just so afraid. Because you're the one person I don't want to lose out of everyone. But I can't hide anymore. So with all of this being said, as of April, I have started hormone therapy. I am on Monday will be my 5th round of estrogen. And I have been on, I've been taking my testosterone blockers every single day. And and this is TMI, but damn it, all of this has been TMI, other than my nipples severely hurting. And God, do they hurt. Do they hurt. Other than that, I have felt the best I have ever felt in my entire life. It took 29, almost 30 years of my life to come to this moment. But I feel the best. I feel the best I have ever felt in my entire life in this moment. And I can only see it going up from here for me. I've started dressing more comfortably to myself. I'm not just a gray blob in a hoodie. I'm wearing the things that make me feel wonderful and special, that make me feel like me. And thankfully, I don't know why I just did a Hail Mary. I'm not fucking religious. Force of habit, I guess. But thankfully, the general public has recognized me for who I am. No one has questioned me, and I feel so blessed and so fucking privileged that these past 4 months have been such a have just been, it's been so good so far, guys. And everyone just giving me positive reinforcement. Not a single negative thing has been said towards me. And I feel so blessed because of that. So blessed. My chosen family here in Pittsburgh, you guys, are so wonderful to me and so beautiful. And I love each and every one of you so, so much. But yeah, we're coming to the end of it. We are coming to the end of it. So I'm going to wipe my tears now. I'm going to wipe my tears. Because I gotta put it away. All the sadness and the sorrow. No more tears. Except happy tears. Hi, everyone. My name is Plumm. I'm 29 years old, from Elkview, West Virginia. And this was my video announcing to everyone who knows me that I am a trans woman. And it feels so good saying that. It feels so good saying that. This world was not made. The world that we live in today was not made for people like us, for people like me. But it can. And I have the biggest faith. I have so much faith that this phenomenon that is gender dysphoria, that is trans people, non-binary people, this whole debate about gender will be behind us, and we will learn that I'm just a different kind of human. I'm just a different kind of human. All right. If you guys have taken your time to watch this, because I know it's long. I love you so much. I'm feeling so much better now that I have said all of this out loud. And yeah, let's just continue to live in love. I love you guys so much. And here's to the future, everyone. I love you.